The Ministry of Health and Wellness reports that suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people aged 15 to 29. Considering this alarming statistic, the Belize Mental Health Association and UNICEF Belize teamed up with the Department of Youth Services to host a panel discussion on suicide prevention and mental health led by high school students.
There is a moderator and of course professionals on standby in case we need to intervene. But the idea is that they're having conversations anyway. And so we'd love to give them a safe space to have conversations about suicide prevention, give them tips and ideas. There's also resources, of course, that are printed out and available for them, while connecting them with the UNICEF resources, the U-Report program, etc.
To add to the common misconception that people who talk about suicide are just seeking attention, whether or not it's for attention or them seeking out for help, the common root of the problem should always be found, because talking about it might be their way of genuinely seeking help and them feeling a sense of hopelessness.
Students from 13 high schools gathered at the Princess Hotel to engage in the panel discussion. UNICEF Belize's health and nutrition specialist says globally adolescents do not have a lot of opportunities to address their mental health challenges or access to the necessary services.
The event today is to commemorate, even though it happened some time ago, World Suicide Day, which focused on changing the narrative. What does it mean to change the narrative? For example, we know that suicide is something nobody wants to talk about, but we need to talk about it. But also need to be sensitive when we are talking about it. It's like when you say people died, so say somebody committed suicide, it's as if it's an offense. Nobody committed suicide. When people die from suicide, you say this person took his life, or this person died by suicide, not that somebody committed suicide. So today, we would like to bring students from so many schools in Belize. Let them talk about suicide. There are so many issues associated with suicide. People have anxiety, they have depression, family problem. We know the issue of poverty, issue of gender-based violence, issue of bullying.
The research that I conducted or gathered, males have a higher suicide rate compared to females, although females may attempt suicide more frequently. This is from the Ministry of Health and Wellness in 2022. And according to PAHO, the Pan American Health Organization, rural areas in Belize tend to have a higher suicide rate, likely due to the limited access to mental health services and economic hardship.
What advice would you give to grandparents or parents who want to encourage their children to open up more to them?
That's a big question. If someone is interested in getting their child to open up more to them or grandchild, drop your opinion, drop your judgment, and really just listen. Like, before you try to change their mind, hear where they're coming from and try to understand what they're feeling and where they are before you try to change their mind. Because teenagers specifically do not care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.